What if your thoughts were no longer private?
New research shows that the tech can help read people's private thoughts.
Researchers have used AI to translate brain scans into text and turn it into what looks like inner dialogue.
Imagine sitting in silence. You're not speaking, not typing, not moving a single muscle. You just think of a word, fire, and suddenly on a nearby screen, that word appears. This isn't magic. This is science. Artificial intelligence is learning to decode human thought, to turn the silent activity of your neurons into text, images, even full sentences. And it's not just researchers in quiet university labs anymore. Neuralink, Synchron, Kernel, Meta, Stanford's BrainGate Consortium, some of the biggest names in tech and science are racing to do it first. Why? Because whoever controls the interface between mind and machine could control the next chapter of human evolution. Stay with us, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover how this began, how much success AI has already achieved, and why the world's richest companies are battling over the secrets locked inside your skull. Welcome to Tech Orbit, where we explore the future of technology, AI, and the ideas shaping our world. The human brain. 86 billion neurons firing in endless patterns. For most of history, this activity was untouchable, hidden behind the walls of our skulls. But the story you're about to hear changes everything. It began in the 1960s when crude EEG machines first picked up faint electrical whispers from the brain. Then in the 2000s, pioneers like Jack Gallant at UC Berkeley and Marcel Just at Carnegie Mellon proved that thoughts could be decoded like a language, patterns of brain activity that AI could begin to translate. Clinicians took the torch next. At Brown and Stanford, the BrainGate Consortium gave paralyzed patients the ability to control robotic arms and type sentences simply by thinking. For them, it was life-changing. And then, Silicon Valley noticed. Elon Musk launched Neuralink, promising a future where humans could merge with AI. Brian Johnson poured his fortune into Kernel, chasing helmets that could enhance cognition. Meta dreamed of typing directly into virtual reality using only thought. Synchron built brain implants that don't even require open skull surgery. This is no longer just science. It's a race. Academia lit the spark. Patients gave it purpose. Tech giants turned it into a battle for the future of the mind. The journey began with electroencephalography, or EEG. In the 1960s, scientists strapped electrodes onto the scalp to measure electrical activity. The signals were chaotic, but for the first time in history, the living brain produced visible data. By the 1970s, primitive brain-computer interfaces allowed people to control cursors or robotic prosthetics. It was clumsy, unreliable, and slow, but the idea was revolutionary. A machine could respond to the human mind. The next leap came with functional MRI fMRI, which tracks blood flow in the brain with millimeter precision. At UC Berkeley in 2011, Jack Gallant's lab astonished the world. Volunteers watched movie clips inside an MRI machine. An AI system analyzed their brain activity and then reconstructed blurred but recognizable versions of the films. Viewers were literally watching thoughts made visible. At Carnegie Mellon, Marcel Just's team pushed further. They showed that when someone thought of specific objects like a hammer or a dog, the brain produced unique neural signatures. With AI, those signatures could be identified and decoded. This was the first proof that the brain had a vocabulary, a silent language waiting to be read. By the mid-2010s, brain decoding was moving from lab experiments to real-world applications. The BrainGate Consortium at Brown and Stanford implanted tiny electrode arrays into paralyzed patients. One woman, Kathy Hutchinson, was able to sip from a drink for the first time in years by controlling a robotic arm with her thoughts. Another participant typed messages on a screen, word by word, without lifting a finger. At MIT's Media Lab, researcher Arnav Kapoor unveiled Alter Ego in 2018, a wearable headset that captured subtle neuromuscular signals from the jaw when people thought about speaking. The system reached over 90% accuracy, without a single word being spoken. The age of thought to action was no longer science fiction. It was happening. When academia proved it was possible, Silicon Valley smelled opportunity. Neuralink, 2016. Founded by Elon Musk, Neuralink built threads, microscopic electrodes surgically implanted into the brain. In 2021, they showcased a monkey playing Pong with only its mind. Musk's pitch: merge human intelligence with AI to prevent human obsolescence. Neuralink has since begun human trials. Kernel, 2016. Created by tech entrepreneur Brian Johnson, Kernel pursued a less invasive approach: sleek helmets that measure brain activity with light pulses and AI. Johnson's dream is not just medical use, but cognitive enhancement, boosting memory, learning, and creativity. Meta, 2017. Facebook quietly funded a brain typing project, hoping for 100 words per minute direct-to-text decoding. The project was abandoned after ethical concerns, but Meta continues to explore brain research for its VR and AR ambitions. Synchron, 2016. Led by Tom Oxley, Synchron developed the Stent Road, a device inserted through blood vessels, eliminating the need for open brain surgery. In 2022, a paralyzed Australian man used it to send tweets with his mind. Stanford and Merge Labs, academic and industry collaborations, now explore decoding not just speech, but images and imagination itself. Stanford's work has shown AI reconstructing continuous language from brain scans, moving beyond single words to full sentences. The battlefield is set. Academia provided the knowledge. Now corporations fight to own the interface between thought and machine. The promise is profound. Give speech back to stroke victims. Allow paralyzed patients to live independently. Unlock new creative tools. Paintings imagined and instantly drawn. Music composed straight from thought. Enable human-AI symbiosis, working with machines at the speed of thought. But the dangers are equally staggering. Privacy.
That technology raises privacy concerns. That's why Colorado passed a first-of-its-kind law aimed at ensuring our private thoughts remain private.
If a machine can read thoughts, could your employer, government, or hacker do the same? Surveillance. Imagine regimes forcing citizens into neural scans. Manipulation. If decoding is possible, so is encoding, writing information back into the brain. Some nations are already reacting. In 2021, Chile became the first country to legally recognize neuro rights, laws protecting mental privacy. The European Union has begun debating similar protections. The question is urgent: how do we protect freedom of thought in an age when thoughts are no longer private? Dream decoding. At Japan's ATR labs, scientists used fMRI and AI to reconstruct dream images. Blurry but real. Your private dreams played back on screen. Monkey tweeting. In 2022, Synchron helped a patient with ALS send a tweet directly with his mind. Hello world. It was a first for social media history. Silent Google searches. MIT's alter ego headset allowed wearers to search the internet using inner speech without moving their lips. Facebook's retreat. Meta once promised 100 words per minute mind typing, but privacy backlash forced them to pivot away. Each story sounds like science fiction, yet all are real. Here's the turning point. Decoding thoughts is only half the story. Scientists are now experimenting with writing into the brain. At Wake Forest University, researchers used electrical stimulation to implant artificial memories in monkeys. At DARPA Labs, soldiers have been tested with brain stimulation designed to accelerate learning. In other words, this isn't just about reading your mind, it's about editing it. Imagine a future where memories can be uploaded, skills can be downloaded, or emotions can be triggered at will. The frontier is not just decoding consciousness, it's reprogramming it. From EEG headsets in the 1960s, to Jack Gallant reconstructing movies from the brain in 2011, to Neuralink's monkeys playing Pong, to Synchron's patients tweeting their first words, this journey shows how far we've come. The story of mind-reading AI is a story of three forces. Academia, which lit the spark with proof-of-concept experiments. Clinicians, who gave it purpose by restoring lost abilities. Tech giants, who turned it into a high-stakes race for the future. For patients trapped in silence, this technology offers freedom. But for humanity, it poses a chilling dilemma. What happens when even your thoughts are no longer private? The brain has always been our final sanctuary, the last untouchable frontier. Now, AI is knocking on its door. And soon it may walk right in. This is just one of the many stories reshaping our future. Thanks for watching Tech Orbit, where science fiction becomes reality. If this fascinates you, hit like, share, and subscribe, because the next story might just change the way you see the world.